Welcome back to Digits here at WSJ Live. I'm Simon Constable. Well, Jack Welch made a tweet about the jobs figures we got this morning. Jobs figures were in some ways surprisingly good. We got Steve Russolito to talk about this. He says, unbelievable jobs numbers. These Chicago guys will do anything. Can't debate, so change the numbers.
Wow. He sent the Twittersphere into mayhem this morning. It was unbelievable. So that tweet, there's a lot of
Let's
connotation
remind us
behind
actually
that
the day we got 7.8% unemployment, which is
rate,
down significantly. We got 114,000 jobs added in the whole economy, 104 of which were private sector. And there was a large jump in the number of people employed, which sort of was a bit of an anomaly, which shocked even those of us that look at these data all day.
Exactly. And I think that's the key, the last point that you just mentioned, because 873,000 people employed last month, according to this one particular survey.
Employed the month before.
Exactly. That's what helped bring the unemployment rates so far down, and that's the biggest jump since January 2003. So the number kind of catches you a little off guard. You say, wow, this has been a jobs market that has been struggling for a long time. You get this big number right now. Okay, so from there, we then get this tweet from Jack Welch, who holds a little bit of clout out there. Well, at least he used to hold a lot of
We know something about how
clout.
jobs are created.
Exactly, being the former CEO of General Electric. So he sends out this tweet, and this tweet is basically saying that the government and the Obama administration is fudging the numbers. It's basically just, they're creating these numbers out of thin air. That's what people were extrapolating from that tweet. And so it caught some people by surprise, and now the reaction to it has really, there's been a big backlash against Welch, because a lot of people are saying, you know, it's just impossible. Like, the government could not do that, and it just so happens that the timing of it, that these numbers look so good after the debate is.
And there's a comment. There's a comment here from the government Labour Secretary. Quote says it's ludicrous.
Yeah.
Which is a. Now let's thank you very much, Steve Russolito. That is the news. Let's bring in a senior policy analyst in labour economics, James Shirk. He's on the phone with us from Washington D.C. James, thanks for joining us today. You look at the labour market all the time. That's what you do for your job at the Heritage Foundation. What do you think? Do you think these numbers were cooked?
Well, I think Jack Welch is wrong on that, but I also think these numbers are probably not accurate. But the idea of a conspiracy is just, it is ludicrous. So
how can it not be a conspiracy and the numbers be wrong at the same time? Please square that circle for us.
It's survey error. The household survey, which is what the unemployment rate is based on, is a survey of a much smaller number of Americans than the payroll survey, which is where we get the estimates of job creation. And if you have a smaller survey, you're going to have a larger margin of error. And every so often you get polls results that just come outside of the margin of error. That's just that's a law of statistics. You know, 19 times out of 20, the survey results are within the margin of error. The 20th time out of 20, they're outside the margin of error.
And you think that's what you think here? This is the one time in 20 when it's not truly reflecting what's going on in the economy. Is that what you're saying?
I think that's exactly right. I mean, if these numbers are accurate, we're in the midst of a major economic boom. But if you look at the GDP numbers, which were revised downwards to just a bit above 1%, if you look at the number of Americans claiming unemployment insurance each week, it's still stuck at around 370,000. That's quite weak. If you look at the payroll survey, I mean, if we'd really had 900,000 more Americans find jobs this past month, you would have seen the payroll survey show enormous job growth. Instead, it showed what everyone expected, of an economy just sort of chugging along, just fast enough to avoid stalling out, but not really growing that quickly. And so I think when you've got a noisy survey that produces a result at variance with every other economic indicator out there, you say, wait till next month, and we're probably going to see it jump back up again.
So very quickly, last question here. Do you think that when people and businesses see that 7.8% number, their spirits are lifted and they want to go out and spend, or do they know in their hearts that what you say is true is true?
I think that most people look at the economy and know it's pretty rough. That the average family income has fallen over the past 4 years. That most Americans know at least one person unemployed. I mean, it's pretty tough to call this a good economy, and one bad survey is not going to change that impression.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your analysis there. James Shirk, Senior Policy Analyst in Labour Economics at the Heritage Foundation. We really appreciate it.